Hello everyone, welcome to Gosport Railworks. My name is James and today we're doing another ready-to-run product review. This time we're looking at the Graham Farish 4MT tender locomotive, the 260 version. And it doesn't look all that bad. It's a rather nice little, well I say little, rather nice tender loco. But first of all, let's get all the boring stuff out of the way. So I'll pop you, you can live here. And let's look at the product code. So just make sure that's in the focus. So you may need to move you. Probably best I'm going to do. Unfortunately, the camera don't want to refocus, but the product code is 372650, standard class 4MT260 with a running number 76053 in BR black lined livery with LED emblem, and it is DCC6 compatible. I think it is actually fitted as well. I need to double check what the setting is, and let's have a quick look at how much it weighs before anything. And carefully pop you down there. And it's 70.3 grams. And yeah, that's about just under 3 Mark 1 coaches. So that's not too bad. It's got a fair bit of weight to it. And yeah, inside the box you get 3 bits of paper. You get the customer guarantee and how to take care of your locomotive bit. That can live over there. I've got 2 bits of paper just to explain. On this one, it's the exploder diagram, which shows you all the bits and pieces of the locomotive and how to remove the tender body to fit the decoder, because it is tender driven, this one. And on the last one, it tells you about running in, curves, and tender body removal and DCC decoder fitting and lubrication. And on the other side, it just tells you how to put all the detail bits on. So that's nice to see. And lastly, we have the detail pack, which has all sorts of... well, first of all, it has the front footsteps, which I haven't fitted because I'm not bothering with them. It's also got some extra pipework and little handrails and stuff like that, which again, I'm not bothering to fit. And also it has the original drawbar, because it did actually come with... the original drawbar fitted, which was about 5mm longer, which looked very strange, having a very large gap between the tender and the locomotive, and it just looked off. So I have replaced it with the extra drawbar which they come with, and it looks a bit more better. It's still got a large gap here, but not quite as bad as it was before. So yeah, that's the boring bits out of the way and all the extra little bits which we get. And yeah, let's have a look at the locomotive a bit more in detail. As I said before, this is tender driven, so all the important parts of running the locomotive are in here. This does mean that I'm assuming this is the reason why they've put this bit here, because they needed a bit more space for the motor and decoder inside. Otherwise, I'm quite sure this bit here would actually be a bit more lower. But it looks a bit off in my opinion. But if it's needed just to get it running, fair enough. But I don't think it's prototypical. The coal, that's plastics, and yeah, it doesn't. It's acceptable, but it could look better. Let's see the tender. Where's what one version of the tender which you can get? This is the southern tender which you can get. As I am a southern modeler, so I got one with the southern tender. Then there's the more general tender, which does look different. Let's see. In the back we got the usual ladder. We've got some tampo printing, which looks quite nice and is quite clear as well. We've got lamp irons. Got the filler cap here, or up in that one. Don't know what that blob is there. Then again, lining is quite clear. This is a second-hand model, so there might be a few things a bit off about it, but we won't hold that against the actual base model itself. But yeah, the riveting looks quite nice. Very nice detail there, and it does actually look. No, it's not just painted on or anything like that. It's actually physically molded to the bodywork. And it looks like the safety valves and whistle are actually metal. Let me just check with. Yeah, they do sound different. So yes, they are metal and they actually feel quite sharp, unlike plastic would do. So yeah, that's separately fitted metal pieces there. The handrails are definitely separately fitted, and they do look quite straight and fine. So that's quite nice. Interior detail, it's all black, but there is interior detail on both the inside of the cab and also on the front end of tender. Wheels do spin quite freely, from what I can tell. I can't see anything wrong with the valve gear. It's got a bit more. Yeah, that seems all fitted and it's all quite sturdy. Always nice to see. Detail on the below, well, it's basic because you're not going to be looking down here anyway. Quite nice. Also, it does have NEM pockets either end. If you want to replace these types of couplings, you can do. Let's see. Let's say all the lining is... No, again, lining and tampo printing is all still clear and nothing running from what I can tell. Maybe a little bit of light bit here, but that may just be because it is secondhand. A little bit of wear there, but again, I won't hold it against the model itself. And the running number on the front is quite clear, along with the said code on the front there as well. And the buffers, quite nice, they're quite sturdy on there. And also the buffer beams do have, more rivets as well. Yeah. The only downside for the detail is this gap here, which may be prototypical, I'm not entirely sure, but it is a bit barren here. But you can see straight underneath the boiler as if it was the real locomotive as well. So that's one benefit of having a tender driven. You can make the loco look a bit more, well, realistic in that you'll be able to see straight underneath it. I do have to say that this detail bit likes to try and pop off. Unfortunately, that may have been me knocking it when I picked it out of the box. Or just picked it up. And you also have got some glazing as well. Yeah. So the livery is the usual basic BR lined livery, but it is neatly applied. Tampo printing on all the numbers and also the BR logo at the back here looks quite nice and is clear. All the other details, yeah, they're fairly nice. There's nothing out. No, there's nothing out of the ordinary that I can see. Yeah, very nice. And so the only thing which is the main problem is, well, this big gap back here between the tender and the loco. But I have made it slightly better with the shorter drawbar, which they do supply. Yeah. Very nice engine. So I can't see anything actually too bad. No, actually wrong with it. Everything seems like it should be, which is always good. Yeah, very happy about it. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on about the locomotive and I'll get it onto the turntable so you can have a closer look at it yourself and then tell you a bit more about the prototype and then we can get it running on my layout with the usual test rake of 8 Mark 1 coaters. So I'll see you in a bit. The BR Standard Class 4260 is a class of steam locomotive designed by Robert Riddles for the British Railways with 115 locomotives that were built to this standard and appeared some 19 months after the standard for 460 locomotives. The class was designed at the ex-LNER works at Doncaster, which was also responsible for building 70 of the 115 strong class. The remaining 45 were built at Horwich. None were built at the Derby works, although it was intended that 20 would be built there. Instead, they too were built in Doncaster. The standard for Mogul was essentially a standardised version of the LMS Ivert Class 4, With its 5-foot 3-inch diameter driving wheels, the sixth member of the BR standard designs was clearly biased towards freight working. An axle loading of only around 16 long tons meant that its route availability was virtually unrestricted. Batters were allocated to every BR region except for Western. Although a BR standard, the 4MT260 class did not have the same design of wheels as the Swindon-built 82 XXX and 77 XXX Class 3 engines, which also had 5-foot 3-inch driving wheels, yet all three locomotives shared the same cylinder casings. They were very similar in design to the 460 Standard 4, however they had smaller boilers and lighter overall. Being designed with maximum interchangeability with other BR standard designs, which aided with maintenance between classes. 4 engines have survived into preservation. All 4 engines built at Hoard's Works and rescued from Woodham Brothers scrapyard at Barrier Island. 3 members of the class have steamed so far in preservation, but 76077 has yet to do so and is at present undergoing restoration from scrapyard condition. Right, here we have the 4MT now on my layout, and it does look very smart sat there. And let's get around to testing how well it runs, but before that I will have to mention that this is a second-hand model, and when I got it there was a few issues listed, luckily kindly by the company which I bought it from. But yeah, one of them was that it stutters at slow speed and it's not the best runner, unfortunately. I have had a go at cleaning and sorting out what I can in the motor here. I have managed to fix a few things in that only one of these axles was powered. Now all 3 of them powered, so it's got all that strength to pull whatever's behind it. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to have pickup from the drive wheels here, so I don't know why that's happened. It may have been me when I was changing the drawbar, but yeah, it doesn't want to use them whatsoever at the moment. I might be able to fix that just by having a look at the drawbar and seeing if I can make it a bit more tighter on where it's meant to pick up power from. So yeah, hopefully that's just a minor thing, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. Well, not a moment, after the video. But with that out of the way, actually I do want to mention one thing, is that I did change it to DC temporarily just to have it run around the layout, and it did actually seem like it was running better than under the original DCC chip which is installed into it. So the issues with it might be that the decoder is naff. If so, then I'll just swap out the decoder when I've got a spare one, or just run it under DC, but for now I want to run it as how I got it, and so it's going to be DCC. Just make sure that's sat nicely on there. There we go. But yeah, I suspect it might just be a decoder issue. Anyway, let's test the slow speed as best we can. So slowly going up. That's not too bad. You can see the stuttering. Yeah, I might be able to fix that with a couple of spare parts. Oh, and now it's stalled. I do also want to mention that I think it does actually have traction tyres which are on the rear axle, if I looked at that correctly. And yeah, it's stalled again. So yeah, let's stop with the slow speed. It does seem to run at slow speed, but it doesn't really like running at slow speed. But that's probably this particular 4MT, not the model series in general. So let's run it a bit more faster. Come on, there we go. Get one run out of you. I'll make it a bit more faster because it likes to be a bit more faster. Right, that wasn't too bad. A few spots along the front here and a few spots at the back there. I did give the track a clean, well, a brief clean, just to get the best out of it. And as you can see, the best was still a bit, yes. But yeah, let's test how well it hauls 8 Mark 1 coaches. So each of these is 25 grams, so this is a total of 200 grams of coats, and the 4MT was just a tad over 70 grams, so this is just over, just thinking, yeah, it's getting on close to 2.5 times its weight, if I'm counting correctly. Actually, no, wait, no, it's nearly 3 times its own weight, sorry, about 10 grams out if I know my maths, which I probably don't. But yeah, it's just under 3 times its own weight. So let me just pop this in reverse, and hopefully don't get caught in a tree. And let's see how well it connects up. That was disappointing. Let's try that again. That's better. Right, and that seems a bit more happier. Let's give it some power, and hope that it gets its way gets all the way around. Oh, come on. No. Right, let's try and give it a push. Come on. There we go. Right, we won't make it go around a second time. Right, let's bring it to a stop just over here. Right, I think we can just blame that to it being second hand. So yes, I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Just know some people falling over. There we go. But yeah, it does seem that I've got a bit of work ahead of me to get this running properly. But it does seem that it can pull 8 Mark 1 coaters without any issues if it ran properly. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. Very happy with it. But yeah, now on to the big question. How much does one of these, if it worked properly, will set you back? And it's not actually that bad. Best price I've seen is just over £90. Worst price I've seen is £140, but the average I've seen is probably between £100 and £120, which isn't too bad for a older locomotive. But it does seem that this could do with being updated, because it is the let me just think, it's the only standard locomotive which is tender driven, because yeah, all the others, not including the tank engines, are, well, they are loco hauled. In fact, I think there's only 2 standard mark engines which there's tender engines which no available, and this being one of them. The other one is the 5MT, which runs quite nicely. So yeah, this one could definitely do with an update, because we have got smaller motors now and they will definitely fit within here. So yes, hopefully Farish will eventually bring out a new one. But for now, this is a well, it's a rather nice locomotive. Unfortunately, my one doesn't work all that well. So the downsides are that, well, first of all, the drawbar is exceptionally long if you get it as is, and fitting the replacement drawbar is iffy at best, and it may upset the pickup for the drive wheels. Good sides is that you'd probably find it at a nice bargain, because they're older locomotives and they don't have all the nice, well, it's a steam engine, it's not going to have all the exact features, but it could definitely do with an update. But yeah, not too bad. Eventually I will get it running properly. It may result in my hair coming out, but still, nice little loco. Very happy with it. Well, somewhat happy with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. Do you like the engine? Do you not like it? Obviously my one doesn't work well, but yeah, let me know what you think down below. If you liked the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and if you didn't like the video, well, I hope you enjoyed it anyway, but that's going to be it for me. So let's say goodbye to the 4MT and see if it can at least get round the corner again. So take care now, bye bye. I'll take that as a no, and let's leave it there. Take care now, bye bye.